Well, it's not easy being a dad, and after reading this next book, you'll either sympathize with Rick Kaempfer or be glad you don't have children at all. It's called Father Knows Nothing, and in case you didn't know, Rick is a well-known blogger, author, and 20-year Chicago radio veteran. He used to be Steve Dahl and Gary Meyer's producer.
Yeah.
So are they getting back together?
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
Never going to happen. So, Rick, did you become a father for the first time after the age of 40? Is that right?
Well, no, for the last time.
For the last time,
yeah.
okay. So you find that it's different this time around, right?
Yes, I was an older dad.
Okay.
That last time, and that's when I became a stay-at-home dad. So, you know, right when I'm aging, my children are very young.
Yeah.
Which makes a difference.
And that sort of led to these very special games that you came up with.
Well, yes.
Which we could all learn something from. The first one's called Hide.
Hide, exactly. My kids called it seek, but I called it hide.
Yeah. How does that work?
Well, let's face it, they're not very good at seeking, right? So I had a little one, a 3-year-old, and I would find a good spot to hide. I'd bring a magazine with me, maybe a cup of coffee, and then I'd hang out.
An hour and a half of free time.
Yeah, exactly. Daddy needs to rest. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a great idea.
I play that as well, yeah.
And a similar premise to your next game, Teeter.
Well, see, all right, so everyone tells me you got to take him to the park, right?
Yeah.
Let him run around. So I would take him to the park, but they'd always want to play with Dad still.
Yeah.
You know, or you'd chase him, and Daddy gets tired.
Yeah.
So I totter, they teeter.
Yeah.
Right, so I sit on the thing, and physics is on my side.
Right.
I can make him teeter for as long as I need.
There's another hour of
That's
time
exactly
for you.
right.
You say you also use your stopwatch a lot with the kids.
I do. Now, this is actual advice.
Okay.
Right? So this is the one thing, if you're a parent, invest the $5, go to Sports Authority or something, buy a little stopwatch. Then you can take your lawn chair outside, and you can start the timer, and you say, let's do time trials.
Right.
Let's see how fast you can run around the house.
Right.
Now let's, test. That's pretty good. Now let's do 10 laps. Right. Let's see.
Let's do the city block.
It's
Then
exactly.
you do the entire city.
Exactly. It's got to be circular, though, so they gotta come
figure it
back to
out.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another hour.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, these are brilliant ideas. Everyone's so, touchy-feely about all their
Right.
games
Sitting
where you
and
have to
reading
sit
to
and
them
do
all.
crafts, but this
No,
is different.
I'm way too tired for that.
That's right.
This game sounds terrible. Big Helper?
Big helper. Now, if you play your cards right, you're never going to have to fetch anything again the rest of your life, right?
Ooh.
Because you've got the big helper that can do it for you. But you got to word it correctly. You don't just send them out. You say, "Are you a big boy enough to go get Daddy his coffee and sugar right now?
Right.
Are you a big boy enough to get the laundry upstairs?"
Yeah.
If you play your cards
that's good.
right,
Yeah.
you can take
You
care of it.
sell it as something they'd want to do.
That's
I love
exactly
that.
right.
I got a whole chapter in the book about this, about fighting, and I chronicled some of the dumber fights. But they would sit around, and the younger son would say things like, "Your face is purple," and then the older one would go, "No, it's not." "Oh yeah, it's purple." "Will you tell him to stop saying my face is purple?" And then they're on the ground throwing punches.
And for people who don't know your son, Rick, he does have rosacea. So
Yes,
we do need
he
to
does.
we do
He
need to
does.
point out his face is partially.
He's a heavy
broken.
drinker.
Well, so when my youngest son was 3 years old, that's when I was put in charge of these children. Now, if you know anything about my background, I was a radio producer, wacky writer.
Sure.
And then suddenly I'm a stay-at-home dad. Radio and I broke up.
Exactly.
You grew up, became an adult.
I became an adult.
I've
yes.
had radio break up with me before, but I'm always coming back.
That's right.
Okay.
But anyway, so I was put in charge of these kids, and my wife went to work, and I was at home with the boys, and I didn't have any idea what to do. And the 3-year-old was the challenge, right? So
Did you
one day,
consult with a Michael Keaton movie, for example?
I did watch that movie actually, and that really wasn't very helpful.
No.
Batman?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, see, that's why I watched
It's
the
totally
wrong one.
Yeah, right.
But this kid one day figured out how to unbuckle his car seat and jumped into the front seat and took a dime and stuck it into the CD player while I was driving. So that
It's a jukebox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You needed to get him the Maggie Simpson, steering wheel so he could drive along with you.
I should have done that, but that cost $1,200.
$1,200.
Yeah.
Plus the dime.
Right.
Yeah.
$1,210.
It's a lot of dough.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There was another time when we were having a family party, and all of a sudden somebody knocked on the door and said, "Anybody missing a kid?" Oh, I didn't notice. He was gone. He was all the way down the street.
Yeah, but the other two were accounted for.
The other, well, yeah, that's
not bad.
That's why we have extras.
Why don't you?